It's actually more effective in today's world to go with the indirect approach than it does that hardcore direct approach of calling them or dropping stuff by or something like that. Because when you call them, they instantly put up the defense shields.
Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Welcome, everybody, to another amazing episode of Referrals Podcast. Yes, today will be amazing. I know you will be amazed because today might be the most noteworthy episode we've ever done. You are getting a chance to meet some of the most notable people in the Generosity Generation and the Referral Mastery Academy ambassador community. We are so glad you are here. Happy holidays. Happy New Year coming up pretty soon. And I just want everybody to know how much we appreciate all of you for tuning in to another episode of Referrals Podcast. And today's a very, very special version of it. And when we originally put the Easter egg in Notevember, what I did is I did Notevember as a main track and an agent track this year, which was different than ever before. And of course, this led to the best Notevember we've ever done. Just an amazing response. And what's interesting is I put an Easter egg at the end of it and said, hey, write me a note, and I've got a surprise for you. We're talking 30 days where they had to watch me on video every morning. Just think about how much of a pain that had to be. And then I would prompt them on who to write or what system to implement or whatever it may be. And I really thought that I would get maybe 2 or 3 notes, because that's just how it is with 30-day challenges. It's an endurance game. It's a challenge, literally. And guess what? We had 13 people who got the Easter egg, and they wrote me a handwritten note, and we have several of them on board today. These are, ladies and gentlemen, the Notevember 30-day challenge winners. Some of them you're going to recognize as they've been past participants on the podcast. Some of them are brand new to the community. In fact, the Notevember challenge was their very first 30-day challenge with us. So I'm excited to talk to them. I hope you're excited to talk to them. Couple things before we introduce our speakers today is we had 16 people who won the challenge. Only 13 of those actually won the bonus, which was the Easter egg of take the final action of writing me a note. Our top note writers, we have Dave DeBryan, who wrote over 800 notes, and last count, it was at 1,010 notes. He wrote 1,010 notes in Notevember, an incredible number, and he has been the winner of Notevember, literally, I think, for maybe 10 years. So just think about that for a second. And then Michelle Matthews wrote 169. Heron Kreitner, who's here today, wrote 138. Amanda Rivera, who we'll have on at another time, has wrote 124. George Belville wrote 94. So we had hundreds of participants, and we had thousands, ladies and gentlemen. Now, these are just what were put into Note Tracker. We had thousands, 2,067 notes that were actually put into Note Tracker. And I do know that we only had about half the participants that actually logged the notes, 52. 52 got referrals, 52, right? 52 logged referrals, 52 referrals times the average home price of $450,000, $23,400,000 in sales generated in the month of November, 23 million. And the final to do in the challenge was to write me a note. And we had Dave DeBryan, Josh Wilborn, Heron Kreitner, Danielle Moore, Nikki Rodeo, Iris Peterson, Cara Heron, Amanda Rivera, Karen Hodges, Tanya McLeod, Daisy Ann, Rodney Schimmel, and Chris Barnes were those that did that. And some of them are on here today. And then I've got to give a shout out to someone who wrote a note to us. And this makes all the sense in the world. Is our shout out today. We do a shout out at the beginning of every podcast. This is from Amy Wineland Daughters. You may remember her from last month. We did her podcast and helped her launch her book, Dear Dana, which became an instant bestseller on Amazon. She has done very well with Dear Dana. Her challenge was to write all of her Facebook friends a handwritten note. So she wrote me a note and it says, "Dear Michael, greetings. I'm wrapping up my very first Notevember." If you want to make somebody else happy, use their terms, and so by writing you, the father of the note movement, I think that's coming on pretty strong, a letter, and it's no ordinary letter, as it's via one of my precious few remaining sheets of the OG stationery from the Facebook project. Since writing the final letter, number 580, in April of 2017, I've only used this stationery again twice. First, I wrote the Dana's from Dear Dana, BFF, best friend forever, who is not on Facebook, just after the project wrapped up. And then this past spring, I wrote my long-term publicist, who basically believes in my letter writing campaign so much that she managed to get us on the Kelly Clarkson show in Women's Day magazine, et cetera, as she left the publicity arena. So those are the two notes that she's written in the last 6 years. It's the highest compliment I can pay you, and it makes you Facebook letter number 583. Of all the amazing people I've connected with over the course of sharing the Dear Dana story, you are the one person who got it the most. I love how you took the time to really listen to my experience, to consider the impact a handwritten note could have on a single human being, and then for being generous enough to include me among your friends, followers, and fellow enthusiasts of spreading goodwill everywhere. Your concept of combining sound business practices, success, and treating people the right way is innovative, inspiring, and world-changing. Michael, I'm so sincerely proud to be humbly associated with you. Please don't stop being a force day by day and keep spreading the hope. Don't ever give up. Your ripple effect is more like a tidal wave. So thankful to be one of your water droplets in that tidal wave. Thank you, your friend in real life, Amy Wineland Daughters. P.S. Let's go. Hope we can talk about our feelings again soon. So I don't know we'll definitely talk about our feelings soon. We're going to talk about how I feel about today very soon, as in right now. So Amy, thank you so much. And knowing that it was on the original stationery makes that note so much more powerful. I appreciate it. And she's an awesome one. Go get the book, Dear Dana. You want to, inspirational things that she learned just simply by writing a note a day and making it happen. Speaking of learning about writing handwritten notes and what can happen with it, today's guests are very, very special. The first one is Dave DeBryan. He is a realtor out of the Grand Rapids area, actually in Kentwood, Michigan. We have Heron Kreitner, who is a realtor out of Atlanta, Georgia. We have Josh Wilborn, who is a realtor in the Chesapeake, Virginia area, and also a former U.S. Navy Blue Angel. Let's give it up for that. Thank you for your service. Tanny McLeod, who has been featured on the podcast before. She is in Roswell, Georgia. Daisy Ann is a realtor in Lake Oswego, Oregon, which is just outside the Portland, Oregon area. We have Iris Lash Pitterson, who is a realtor out of the Phoenix, Arizona area. We have Chris Barnes, who is a realtor out of Reno, Nevada. We have Cara Heron, who is a realtor out of Vacaville, California. And unable to attend today are the others that I mentioned before. So without further ado, welcome all of you to this notable and noteworthy session on Notevember. And you, ladies and gentlemen, are the Notevember winners, which congratulations and kudos. I know how hard that is. And the number one compliment that you can ever give someone is, I can count on you. Well, what is the first step to someone else counting on you? Is showing up every day. And you guys might be the most referable people in the entire Generosity Generation group because they know you're going to show up. They know you're going to make it happen. So congratulations on that, and kudos, and such a winning job. I love, and like I said, some are regulars, some are brand new. And I just understand how hard it is with everything going on in November to make this work. So kudos and congrats to you. So I'm going to go straight to the questions, and I'm going to start with Dave DeBryan because he wrote 1,000 notes. When you guys write 1,000 notes, you get to go first next year. I just want you to know that when you write 1,000 notes in 30 days, that you get. All right. So Dave, seriously, you have won the Notevember challenge since it was a pathetic website and the worst note tracker in the history of any type of trying Excel on the internet. And for 12 years, you've been writing handwritten notes. Why the heck did you participate in the Notevember challenge again?
When it all started, Mike, it was a replacement for Thanksgiving cards, and it was amazing what we started. I loved it. I loved every day's reminder and what to do. I was geared with that time treasured 20, but I did 600 on the first year with you launching. It's been great every day.
Yeah, the only thing that we did right the first year is we published the weekly results. So the weekly numbers, and you and
Sue Bensel.
And Sue, you remember her name?
No, Sue.
Sue wrote like 500 that month. And it was kind of like a weekly. It was like, all right, 100, 120. Then it was like 230. And then it ended up that Sue wrote 500 and you wrote 600 and some in that first month. And it just like, that was a pretty cool addition to it. But I love that you're back every single time to do this, and you're a leader on this and a champion for this. And it's just awesome. And to set the pace at 1,000 notes I mean, did your hand hurt? I mean, are you still recovering?
Well, preparation now is working on it during the summer, getting ready for November, and then continuing the notes every day. So, I had 400 in the top ready to go at the beginning. So
that helps. And I thought maybe like here pretty soon, you're going to come back and you're going to go, I'm ambidextrous now, start writing 500 right-handed and start writing 500 left-handed. I love it. So Tanya, once again, back on here, and you've been such a leader in the generosity generation, especially the last couple of years. What made you decide to participate in Notevember this year?
I just love it. It's always been something since I started participating, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, because like Dave mentioned, that you give us those little triggers of who we should think about writing this day's note to. And then this year, it just got even amplified with some of the things that you added.
Yeah, the agent track. Did you do the agent track and the main track, or did you just do the agent track this year?
Well, once we got into it, day one, when you hit us with the first challenge, I turned that into something I took all 30 days and I'm still doing today.
Oh, wow. Love that. What are you still doing today? Like what out of it? 60 ideas, that's overwhelming if you talk about both tracks. What was it from the agent track that you're continuing to do today?
It was the daily hot sheets. And so I loved how you went through and did a Zoom or a Loom recording of the screen, you going through all of the properties. So I literally took that from day one and I go check what the day's mortgage rate is. And then I plug it into the mortgage calculator, show them what the average rate would make that for the payments. And then I go back into the MLS and show them in the last 24 hours, this is what happened. These are the ones that came off market, went back on market, expired, and went through it. And it's just a quick little recording. I upload it to YouTube, copy and paste embed it into a blog post, and that's it.
Well, that's you took it much farther than I did. I mean, that's beautiful. I love how you're doing the client update with an activity that honestly, if you're in real estate, you should do every day. I call it the relaunch. The relaunch is a ritual that you do when you first get into work, right? So whenever you have your morning ritual, so there's different kinds of rituals. There's launching rituals and there's landing rituals. So a launch ritual is what you do to start something. You do before something. It's something that you do to get the right mindset. And so a morning ritual is an example of a launch ritual. Well, the relaunch is, for me, for years, it was the 1st and 10, plus I kind of look at the daily hot sheet and kind of take some activities off that. Well, Tanya's created her own relaunch, which is real estate launch, relaunch. And it's all right. The hot sheet, it's taking a video of the hot sheet, and going through that. And then she updates her clients, potential clients, and other people about what's going on in the marketplace and taking it to another level. I absolutely love that implementation and extension on what is something every agent should do. You should look at the daily hot sheet every day, because you're going to learn actives, pendings, how the market is flowing, and you might get surprised. I got surprised during November. I thought I couldn't be surprised anymore after 25 years in this business, but that's what I love about real estate. It continues to surprise. I was surprised at how beautiful the expired, canceled, and withdrawn homes were. I just could not believe the quality of the product that was getting canceled, expired, and withdrawn. I wondered at it all the time. I thought I was going to see a lot of beaters and, oh, well, that one's backing up to a highway. I see. But no, these were like, oh my gosh, pristine. It's like, I can't wait to go sell that one, So I love that. So Cara, very good. And once again, Cara has been featured here on the podcast before. And, there's a reason for that. She's consistent. She gets stuff done. She continues to implement. How do you get on the podcast? By implementing. And she's a great implementer. She's a master implementer. What made you decide to participate in the November challenge? You're super busy. How did you find time for it?
It just, like Tanya said, it's a core of what I do every day anyway. I was raised, my mom instilled in us, we were always to write thank you notes for whatever occasion. And I've just always been a note writer for years and years and years. So for me, it was a no-brainer and I enjoyed it. Last year was my first year doing it and I loved it, especially like Tanya said, the unique prompts that you would give us that sometimes you don't think of, oh, yeah, they need a word, from me today. So yeah, it was an easy to do.
Very good. I don't think everybody would say it was easy. I really don't. I mean, it's 30 notes in 30 days. Maybe that is easy. I don't know. But it's one of those where a lot of people dropped off. You got to realize we're talking to the winners. Here's what I find about winners and the masters of is they find what other people find difficult easy. Isn't that interesting? It's like, 30 notes in 30 days. That's easy. Some people look at 30 notes in 30 days and it's like, that's so daunting. I will never be able to do that. One a day. I mean, I only have the day to get that whole note done, So I love that. Such great feedback on that. Now, Iris, this is first time on the Referrals podcast. Welcome to the podcast and newer to Referral Mastery Academy and everything that we do here at the Generosity Generation. So what made you decide to participate in the November challenge?
Well, I had recently read 7L and joined the Gen Facebook group. And so November seemed like a powerful idea. And also I wanted to determine if I wanted to join the Referral Mastery Academy. And so I said, well, if November gives me value, then it would make sense to join. And
you were testing us. You were testing us, Iris.
It was. And you passed because I joined.
Let's go. All right. That's our podcast for today. Everybody remember what Iris just said. And that's it. So that's awesome. I appreciate it. And I'm glad you got value out of it. And kudos for getting all the way through. Did you do main track and agent track or just agent track?
I did both, and I'm still doing agent track. I'm still working on my neighborhood notes as well as Crown. I'm going to start Crown next week, actually.
Converting renters to owners. That was one of the very first handwriting campaigns to strangers that I ever did. And it went so well that it became a part of every day. It became a part of what we did. The other thing I love about first-time homebuyers is how appreciative they are for a realtor. Like they're just like so appreciative to get into a home and not have someone above them dribbling a basketball at all times of the day. And, people smoking around them and people, outside honking their horns and the loud mufflers and the not having a garage. Oh, you're a first time home buyer, right? Let's go, So love that. I love that. Chris Barnes in the house from beautiful Reno, Nevada. So what made you decide to get into the November challenge?
Effectively surround myself with mastery, which, you are. Go in all the way, 100%. Being in business for too long to not really be that good. I wanted to make sure that, this is a system that as provided and continues to provide. It's awesome.
Well, I appreciate that. I just thought of something. Like, this is handwritten note mastery.
Yeah.
It really is. You know, when you talk about all the different facets that we do, I mean, how did we think about handwritten notes before? We didn't think about the ink. We didn't think about the envelopes. We didn't even think about the cards we wrote on. And now it's like we know all the different facets that make a handwritten note perhaps the most powerful. Of course, the words that we write are going to make it the most powerful. But I love that thought. And then had you been in the letter writing or note writing habit before, or was this something that was going to kickstart you?
It was haphazard at best. We all know we should be doing things, but it's, what if, oh, shoot, I should have done it. Well, no, this was go all in and make it happen, which is transformation. It was amazing.
I love it. Daisy, from outside of Portland, Oregon, Lake Oswego, Oregon. Welcome, first timer on the podcast. And what made you decide to do Notevember? What made you jump in?
Okay, I was always writing handwriting notes to people because I believe that's the easiest and best way to express the love I have of people in my life. But when you said November challenge, I didn't know whether there's anything else I could do. But having read your book, I already have so much confidence in you. Okay, I'm gonna try. I trust Michael. I'm sure he can open up my eyes. And then it was good because what I liked the most, I mean, there are many things I liked. So first of all, it made me work on my letterhead because I wanted to write expired. So I was always watching or checking hot sheets every day, even before I came here. But whenever I saw expired, canceled, I want to approach this listing because I knew I can do a better job, but I didn't know how to. Because I didn't want to make a cold call, take up so many calls. I didn't want to be another person that irritate them. So I just kept watching. I don't know what to do about this. But you gave me an idea.
So you got your letterhead done, right?
Yes, I did it. And then now I know what to do. I get to pick what I want to approach. So I don't want to go after every listings. I check, I think this neighborhood, this listing, I can do a better job. And then I am a good realtor. I want them to get to know me because I know how to take care of them. So thank you.
Well, I love that. And first of all, I appreciate the trust, right? And that's what people do in Referral Mastery Academy is when sometimes they don't even know all we do in Referral Mastery Academy, but they sign up for it because they trust, you know what, if it's going to be Michael, then I know that it's going to be loving, generous, and appreciative, and it's going to work, right? And I hope I never belie that trust. We never do anything for money in this organization. We only create life-changing events, systems, courses, and events. That's what we do. We want this to be able to be life-changing. And the other part of it is, Daisy, you hit on a really big point, is writing the handwritten note to the expireds. It's actually more effective in today's world to go with the indirect approach than it does that hardcore direct approach of calling them or dropping stuff by or something like that. Because when you call them, they instantly put up the defense shields. Whereas if you write a handwritten note, they're going to open it. And, I just read some research on this. Did you know that when they open a note and they read it, they don't even look at who wrote it until after they read what was written? Well, isn't that awesome for us? Is we get a chance to make a first impression before they make a judgment by not knowing our name, right? So very, very powerful point is the indirect approach is being more effective in today's world than the direct approach. And you've been implementing that in your area and doing well with it. I love you got the letterhead done. I would love to see that, by the way, Daisy, outside of this. If you want to send that over to me, I'd love to look at it and see what you did with it. Right. Everything you do is classy. So I know it's going to look like $1 million. So
Thank you.
Aaron Kreitner, back for more. I'm telling you, if there was like a master implementer award for 2023, Heron might get it. Like you have dove in to, or dived in. No, you have dove in. You have jumped in 110% with what we do here at the Referral Mastery System in GenGen. And I appreciate that trust. What
Thank
made you
you.
decide? And here's the thing. I already know why you decided to do the November challenge. It wasn't even a decision for you. It was the next thing to sign up for, and you signed up. Is that accurate, or am I assuming too much?
That's 1A. 1B is, we do the quarterly challenges in RMA. So it holds you accountable. November, just for me, is just an opportunity to keep momentum because a lot of real estate agents stop doing business now. So even if the notes that I'm writing, even on the agent side, because I did the agent side, I'm having some success with the FSBO and expired letters.
Yeah.
Even if nothing comes of it right now, people are still thinking January, February. So there might be some things in the pipeline there.
And maybe our timing just happened to be perfect, but that's what we discovered with November. First of all, people withdrew or canceled, or in some cases expired. I had more canceled than I did expired, which is not always the case. But why? Is because they're taking it off for the holidays. Well, that gives them time to think about, like, what agent do they really want to partner with? So it gives us an opportunity. And I think now is the time to be writing those handwritten notes to them, because they're not that we actually have time. If it's May 15th, maybe at that time they're like, no, I need to get it back on May 16th. We don't have time for the letter to get there. But during this time period, it just seems like with those 2 or 3 days, we have time. And I was amazed at looking back the last 2 years at how long it was between a cancel, withdrawn, or expired and when it was relisted. I thought it would be like 24 hours, 48 hours, and it was on average 9 days. And in most cases, it was over 30 days. So it was just very interesting to see that, hey, you know what? We've got time. The handwritten note is going to get there in time for us to get a chance. So love that. Love that.
And the handwritten note, for me, it's a habit now. Like I have it, my 1 degree tweak in my morning ritual while I'm doing my journaling is write the note. So I write at least 1 note a day.
Yeah.
Habit for me.
Love that. You've taken 30 days of November to 365 or 366 days of Yearvember. Note. I don't know. I'll have to think of some other way to put that. But that's great stuff, Aaron. Kudos and congrats on everything you're doing and diving in 110%. And speaking of kudos and congrats, we have a former U.S. Navy Blue Angel here. Josh, thank you for your service and continued service, first of all.
Proud to serve. Thank you.
And what made you decide to participate in the November challenge? How long have you been with us in Gen and Referral Mastery System?
I joined RMA about a week before the November challenge started. I read the book. A good friend of mine, John, gave me the book. I read it 4 times in October. I'm just kind of going through it.
You read the book 4 times in October? Is that what you just said?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
I went through it a bunch of times. I decided to join the RMA on the backside of that, seeing that the November challenge was coming up. So I jumped right into the first challenge. I'd never written a note before in my life. So it was a good first challenge for me.
Did you do both? Did you do main track or agent track, or how'd you do?
Yes, sir. I did both.
Okay.
So I did the 30 notes from the main track. Yep.
Very cool. Very awesome.
I wrote about 60 to 90 notes from the for sale by owners to withdrawals and expireds. And then that's kind of something I'm keeping up with since.
How did you get any responses at all? I know this is short notice, but did you get any responses?
I did. I got a bunch of responses from the withdrawals. A handful of them went back to the agents that had originally listed them. They pulled them off for various reasons. And I've got a couple that are supposed, kind of like you were just saying, they're going to relist after the holidays. So I'm waiting for keeping up with them and putting them in my database. So
I love it. Get the appointment, right? Get the appointment. Go take a tour of that home and see what you can do to help them, right?
Sir.
Very good. And Josh, just so you know, you are cutting in just a little bit, and we got it. We got what you're saying, but I just want you to know there's a little bit of a catch in it, just so you know. All right.
Okay.
So, favorite challenge or hardest challenge? All right. So, Iris, I'm going to start with you, and I'm going to come to you with either what did you learn that surprised you, Or did you have a favorite challenge or hardest challenge?
I would say my favorite challenge was reaching out to someone who gave me a memorial gift, memorable gift. That was day 24.
Mhm.
And that was my favorite because I recently retired, being an educator, and a person was not happy with what they were going to give me as a goodbye gift. It was like, all the people that are leaving right now, bye. And so she took, she's like, that's not acceptable. You've been in the school district 27 years. You deserve more than a goodbye. So she took her time. She had kids working on projects. And it was nice just to remember all that she did for me and to send her a note. And she was so appreciative of that. So that was my favorite.
That's awesome. Anybody else have a favorite? So, Cara, how about a favorite challenge or maybe a hardest challenge for you to complete?
I would say my favorite was writing to a doctor. And so I wrote one, I think it was a prompt last year as well. My oldest son was born with extremely, very severe club feet, had the shoes cast, 2 separate operations, all by the time he was 13 months old. And way back in the day, I had written his doctor, his orthopedic surgeon, a thank you note, and he was so touched by it. So I wrote him again a year ago. And then this year, when I went to look him up, it was the same doctor, but a number 3, like the 3rd generation. So I think it was his son, but I went ahead and wrote it to him anyway. I haven't heard anything back, and just honored, if it wasn't him, I just wrote a note to his son honoring his dad and what he'd done for my son, who never would have walked had it not been for him 35 years.
Wow. Wow. That's a gift. Wow. That's and sometimes we need to appreciate those things. We think about a doctor sometimes as, well, they're just doing it for the money. They're doing it, because they had to. But man, they're not, right? Thank God they were there. I mean, like I'm recovering from this Achilles surgery and tear. And man, writing Dr. Blackwood the note was one of the easiest things I did. I so appreciate him for his sports background. He'd played Major League Baseball and he totally got it and knew that at 54, he could have given up on me. He could have just taken me out to pasture and shot me. But no, he didn't do that. What he did instead is he said, you're still active. You're still playing baseball. We're going to treat you like an MLB player. We're going to treat you like Aaron Rodgers. We're going to do the same surgery that, we do for the higher. And guess what? I'm 3 months ahead of schedule. And he didn't have to do that. We think of doctors in a certain way, and it's just great when we find one that cares, and most of them probably do care, but it's one of those where sometimes things get lost in the system, I think, with the medical field. So I love that. I love that idea. Dave, did you have a favorite or a hardest challenge?
Favorite, every day when you do, people need to get excited over November because the everyday challenges that are out there, reminders. I mean, I can't wait to start the day, look at the video and do the assignment. So 30 notes for me in November is easy with your program. So there shouldn't be anybody not hitting 30. But my favorite was my PSs this year. I did a block of individuals for PS, and I have 40 years in this business, and I know what it's like to do mortgages at 8%. And you need to talk to me about what we can set up that will benefit you. And of that, 8 responses came back from those people, and a really great success story on it. So
that's awesome. Tanya, how about you? A favorite or a hardest challenge?
So I think the parachute one was my favorite. The very first year I went through, I wrote, it was easy, like no brainer. It's my dad. He's meticulous. He's a surgeon. Like, I knew
he loves you. He cares.
Right.
He would pack a great parachute for you.
100%. Right? And then the next year, or maybe the 3rd or 4th year I did it, I started thinking more and more about it. I'm like, you know what? It's also my son. So I wrote it to my son. And when he got that, he was away at college and he thought, Mom, because it had the PS, text me when you get it. I want to hear who you'd have pack your parachute. I asked him in that PS because, like you were just saying, the PS, you were happy with your PSs, Dave. And that's one of the big things, using your 7 steps to the power note. I had it attached to the edge of my computer monitor so I could make sure I did all of them. And I always, try to remember to start with the PS, because that's one of the things we leave off, right? So, but to get that information back from him and to have the text messages back when people get the response, I just love that they really engage back to you. I wrote all of my, my inspector, painter, all of the people that service providers for my clients. I wrote each and every one of them. And a lot of them, I didn't have their home address. So I asked the text, what's your best mailing address? And so they each were shocked when they got a letter from me. There was no gift card. There was no money. There was nothing.
Yeah.
And they said, that is so nice. And I'm so appreciative that you appreciate me, basically,
Yeah.
So I think it's a twofold response. Sorry about that, but it's a lot of fun doing these.
Yeah, I love that. And we just did some stuff in Join Gen Gen. I encourage everybody that's listening to this. Maybe this is your first podcast. Welcome. Maybe this is your 320th podcast you've listened to us. Welcome to you too. And back, and thanks for coming back again. And we did the 5 love languages, and we had I put on a quiz and asked people to choose their love languages. And what's interesting is only one of the love languages really is around money, right? That's the gift one. And what people really want is the quality time, the words of affirmation, the physical nearness, right? The other different things are really not money related anyway. And that's honestly, that's how relationships are. In fact, I always say, don't ever monetize a relationship. Like, don't pay a referral fee, because it's like loaning money to a family member. It instantly changes the entire dynamic of the relationship. It's a business relationship instead of personal relationship. People don't refer you for money. They're not going to refer you for money. They refer you because you're going to take care of business and you're going to make them look good. And that's it. So I just love that. I just love that angle, Tanya. So perceptive. And so, Chris Barnes, how about you? A favorite or a hardest part of Notevember for you?
I have a favorite, but there were so many to choose from, but one of them absolutely sticks out in my mind. Past client, recently widowed. I wrote to her son as one of the requests you would put in there about all the attributes of his mom, and extremely powerful. And it was powerful because I had an event shortly after that note was written, and she came up to me and told me that she's been coming to these events because of me and how powerful the relationship is, and it helped her get out of the house and keep on moving on with her life. And that's amazing to recognize that these events and the power of our words and our notes and our togetherness, it affects people's lives. So I absolutely, hands down, the best note that I've ever written. It was powerful.
So one of my favorite notes, I just have to throw out that they're all my favorites. They're like my kids. I have 30 favorite prompts in Notevember. But honestly, one of my most favorite notes is the one where you write to the kid of someone who works with you. So, did you know how awesome your mom is? And did you know that she does it? Because the fact is, these kids have no idea. My son has no idea what I do during the day because he's in school. And honestly, he doesn't care either. That's just how it works. He's 15. He doesn't care about anything. Trust me. But here's the thing is that and this is for everybody. And this is for you listening to this. Take the time today to, if there's a lender you work with, or if there's a receptionist or an assistant or a staff member or a team member or somebody, and that has really impacted you, don't just write them the note. Write their kids the note to talk about how awesome their mom or dad is. It just, like, they'll keep it forever. It'll be very powerful for them. And absolutely one of my greatest, most awesome ones. I just remember, I'm going through this, of me writing the children of my team members during November of several years, and just, expressing my appreciation for them sharing their mother with me and letting them know how awesome her mother was, and the responses I got. And interesting is the kids' responses were good. It was the staff member or team member's response that was tearful hugs and awesome. And it's like, wow, I got 2 for the price of 1 there. That's a pretty cheap 66 cents. So, I love that. And then the other part that you brought up here is, why do we have self-mastery, relationship mastery, and event mastery as part of the referral mastery system? And it's like that whole event mastery piece is, like you said, this is a recent widow, lost someone. And we need to realize that everyone in our community is lonely. What if we knew everyone in our sphere was lonely? And if we just had an event, it would be a great excuse for them to get out and meet with other people. We would be doing this huge service. And we need to remember, loneliness is higher than ever before because of 2020. So we're not just like doing a service that's generating leads for me and us and the sponsors. We're actually doing a huge service for those that attend the events. Even if there's no food, no drink, no nothing, if you just get them out of the house, we win. And guess what? They win. So love that. 2 great points there, Chris. Great stuff. So Josh, how about yourself? What was your favorite challenge from the activities?
I really enjoyed the coach, the parachute, and the family member note. I wrote the family member to my sister. It's brought us closer. My coach and mentors in the military, and then my parachute, my good friends that I work with. That note, I feel like that is probably the most powerful note I wrote. He really enjoyed that, and it meant a lot to him. So when he texted me after the PS on that, it was a pretty powerful text message that I got that I'll probably keep forever. And then out of the agent track, I'm really excited about the Crown project and getting forward and writing those and converting those renters to homeowners. So I'm really excited about that. We have a apartment unit picked out. We're really moving forward, and I'm working with a lender to kind of help set all that up. So it's going to be a really cool project for us.
Well, I love that you're doing the Crown project and moving forward. And remember, you don't have to write 355 notes in one day or whatever. Writing those renters over time can be just as effective. But I mean, give me a break with the parachute one. We're talking a former Blue Angel pilot here. And if anybody can relate to the parachute story, I think Josh would be definitely the one, like he's literally the poster child for and just so you know, there is an entire story about who packed your parachute there, and it's a military story, and it was about the fact that the parachute saved his life in, I think it was Vietnam, and he finally got an opportunity to meet the guy who packed his parachute and saved his life, and it was a very heartwarming and touching story. And Josh, I can only imagine, how much more literal and visceral that was for you and for the person who received your note,
Absolutely.
So, Heron, how about yourself? Heron, what was your favorite challenge out of all of them?
I think for me, I like writing the note to a niece or nephew. I'm getting at that age where I need to impart wisdom and thinking about legacy.
Yeah.
So every year it's just one of those things. My niece just got her white coat in med school.
Oh,
and it's challenging your first year because a lot of the kids wash out. So that was a really great note, just mano on mano, me to her. And, it made us a lot closer. I also love the one about somebody who needs to be embraced from afar that maybe I've not talked to in a long time. And on the business side, at developing the investor list, I never kind of thought about that. People just come to me and say, I want to invest, but now I can ask the question. I never thought about asking the question.
Yeah. Even if it's an aside, even if it's just an afterthought, is, if you ask that over 100 people, you're going to find out 30 would probably be interested in investing if the right deal came along. Well, if you put 30 together, now you have you could actually put an investment package together, and 5 or 6 could buy it together, or all 30. So you've got some stuff that you can do once you know that there's a group of investors. We have more power together. And so I love that. And it allows for that deal of the day approach where we can send them one when we find a great one. Right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So Daisy Ann, did you have a favorite?
Favorite is like writing a thank you card to someone who mentioned to someone oh, this is Daisy. She's a realtor. And because when I first got my license, I was very shy. I didn't want to tell people I was a realtor. But when someone just casually, hey, this is Daisy. She's a realtor. And then the person, I didn't know she was new. She was renting. And then he opened the conversation about real estate. To make the story short, later she became my client. After some time, they bought their dream house. We became good friends. After as a closing, I know how I got the client. And then this person who said, hey, this is Daisy, she's a realtor. She even doesn't remember. But I remembered how much it meant to me. So I wrote a thank you card, hey, because you said it to me. You said it to her when I was very shy. You helped me connect with her. And she became my great client, great friend. I love her. I love you. Thank you so much. So anyway, so it was a very happy time to write such a note. And then when she got it, she was very grateful. She was very touched. I mean, it makes me love my job. It makes me love people even more. It makes me find more ways to love people. So this is my favorite part.
What a concept. Loving our clients, loving what we do what we love. And, this love, generosity, and appreciation thing, we may be onto something with this. And Daisy, I love it that, you loved on the referral source, and the whole thing was, something who has complimented, praised, or championed you, write them a note, because here's what happens, right? Do you want more people to champion you? The answer is yes. Do you want this person to champion you more? Well, what you appreciate appreciates. So, what you appreciate, if you like somebody speaking highly of you and you write them a note, well, guess what? Doesn't that empower and embolden and encourage them to champion you more? And it does. Yeah, go ahead, Daisy.
But my intention was not just to get more referrals. I was truly grateful for what she has done for me. It's okay if she doesn't send me another referral.
Yeah.
But I'm just very grateful that she remembered to introduce me.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then it opened another relationship for me.
Yeah, you got it right. I mean, our appreciation is genuine. We are genuinely grateful. And if they never send us another one, guess what? It's okay. Yeah. But the other part of it too is just know that when we do appreciate those things, it appreciates, it grows in value, and it improves over time. And guess what? We're not making them speak highly of us and refer us more. They're just going to do it because they know that it's appreciated. And I think that's a foundation of this entire Notevember project is, yes, put your appreciation in writing. And guess what? If you're in a court of law, how many of us are appreciative, and everybody says they're appreciative, but in a court of law, could you be convicted of being appreciative? Like, if there's a jury, what evidence would you have to support your appreciation? Well, if you're writing handwritten notes and you've written handwritten notes, I mean, Dave would go, yeah, here's 1,010 notes I wrote last month. I think I'm pretty appreciative, So it's one of those where, and by the way, we're not writing the notes to get referrals we're writing the notes because it feels good and we love to express appreciation. And so I think the first part is some people, just so you guys know, they write the notes so they get referrals. And guess what? I want you to know that's okay. That's okay. That's how I came to the note writing world, is I came for the results. And then guess what? Over time, I didn't care. I just fell in love with writing notes and expressing appreciation and being grateful. And it's just one of those where it doesn't matter what your motivation for writing the note is. It's just write the note. Now, if you have no expectations, the other person's more likely to live up to them. You might want to think about that phrase for a little bit. If you have no expectations, the other person's more likely to live up to that. So I think Daisy, you brought up just a stellar point with that. And now, last but not least, let's talk. Is everybody here in RMA? Everybody in RMA? 100%? Okay, I did not know that. All right, so I'll ask you, someone's on the fence. They're thinking, they're considering about Referral Mastery Academy. Now you can say, don't do it or whatever if you want. It's all good. I'm open to anything. But we have talked about Referral Mastery Academy this year, basically, occasionally. Now we've done the reveal, like great things happening. And like, I'm so convinced RMA is a life changer, right? Not just a business changer or a game changer. I truly believe it could change lives. So if somebody's on the fence, what words of wisdom would you give them about Referral Mastery Academy? What would you say? What would you suggest? And that kind of thing. Josh, I'll start with you since you've gone almost last a couple of times. So Josh, you just signed up literally like 45 days ago. So, what would you say to someone who's listening to this podcast and maybe they listened to us all year and they're like, I've been kind of thinking about Referral Mastery Academy. What should I do?
So when I read the book,
4 times,
I fell
by
in
the
love
way.
with the process. I knew that that's the type of agent I wanted to be as I'm coming to real estate. I can't thank my buddy John enough for giving me the book.
By the way, what's
the
John's
RMA
last name?
It just provides you John Turner.
Okay. All right. So RMA, sorry.
RMA just provides a blueprint and a competitive atmosphere to put the principles of the book into action. And that's what I enjoy about it the most. And then also with the coaching program, the group coaching that I'm doing with Carla is also amazing.
Love it. I love it. Heron, you've been in RMA a while. You've jumped in feet first with it. What would you say to someone who's considering Referral Mastery Academy?
I consider it a learning opportunity if you really read the book and you want to master love, generosity, and appreciation, and for me, do business a little bit differently than I've done in the past. Okay. And that you can master specific things. There's a lot of camaraderie. I can call anybody here. I mean, I text you every now and then because I have your text number, and you say, and you give me some thoughts and some that get me thinking about some different things. So, and there's just a tremendous wealth of talent and people just available because that's what we do in generosity generation and in RMA is help one another. There isn't any, I can't tell you this. Nothing's really a secret.
Yeah.
Okay. It's you have something you need to take care of, or a thought or an idea, or you're not sure. There's somebody that's going to be able to help you with it.
I love it. Cara, how about yourself? What would you say to somebody who's considering becoming an ambassador in RMA?
What would I say? I would say, don't think twice. I would say, get off the fence. It just, for me, when I found it several years ago, it just was truly an extension of, it's not even just about business. It's truly a life extension of who you are, how we live our lives, the be, love, do generosity, and you'll have prosperity instead of the do, be, have, that was so hardcore. That was such a hard, I felt like a square peg in a round hole when I first started real estate because it was just way too hard and way too in your face for me. And this is just, it's just a rhythm of grace and ease, a way of living your life and extending yourself to serve others in what we do for a living. So yeah, and the training's great. I mean, I've taken almost every class you guys offer, and it's just for a nominal investment. Nominal. You can't hardly pay what little we pay anywhere in the real estate training arena and get what we get. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Daisy, how about you? Referral Mastery Academy. What are you thinking?
I agree with everyone. And then if I want to add, it helps you build a system for you to grow big, doing what you love to do, like building a relationship, providing more joy in people's lives, doing event or building relationship. And then, of course, you know they are good. But this school, I call this real estate school, it helps you build the system. Without the system, you cannot grow big. So if you have a big dream, you want to become successful, and you still have a life, then you want to join so that you can build a system, good foundation for you to grow big.
Love it. Love it. Growth, right? And there's nothing more attractive than growth. I love that. And it's a system. That's what I love about it too, is with the apps, we have a blueprint, like Josh was saying. Iris, how about you? Referral Mastery Academy, and welcome. You're brand new. It's almost to the point where, like, what would you say to somebody else? It's almost like, what did you say to yourself to join Referral Mastery Academy?
Well, I've tried a number of things to build my business. And like Josh said, when I came across this, I'm like, that's the kind of agent I want to be. And so I would say that it's a much greater value than the monthly expense.
Okay, price is going up. Thank you, Iris. I appreciate that. And Iris, you're on fire. I think 2 times in a row I've wanted to just end the whole session right after you said something. So I love it. I love it. And I love having you be a member and welcome, like I said earlier. Chris Barnes, Referral Mastery Academy. What would you say to somebody? You got somebody in the office who's saying, I'm kind of hearing about this Referral Mastery Academy. What should I do?
Are they in it to win it? You know, there's so much synergy coming through the whole, everybody that's involved in this that I've seen going through the Facebook pages and, even this Zoom call. How many years do you think we have as a whole? I mean, Dave has been, what, 30, 40 years, I think.
Easy. Don't call him old. He's experienced, right?
Holy cow. I mean, look, think about all of the mastery that he has to share. Where else are you going to find that other than here? And just like Iris stated, the minuscule amount that we're paying for all the value that we're getting, it's a mic drop, and it's a no-brainer. Just do it.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. Dave, speaking of Dave, great transition there. Our most experienced agent, but not oldest. So
cool. So Chris said it all a minute ago. He talked about getting going, doing it every day, getting inspired to work the program. And what's happening in the real estate world right now is with third parties trying to do your work, and you can do your work. You have the database and you have the experience to run the letters and the referrals and go to the expireds. And so the mastery does the motivation to do those things rather than having AI and third parties send out things, because sellers in the overall pack, they don't want to see that letter that's computer generated. Mm-hmm. They really will respond to the Notevember or the note that's handwritten. Mm-hmm. So back 40 years of this, we started with that type of philosophy, and then it got computerized, and you started to not do pink slips when you got back. You had phones. So I've seen it all. But this is what energizes me. And Chris said it, that you get up and do these programs, you get an accomplishment of 5 hours in the morning. You got a lot done, and the rewards are going to come in.
That's awesome. Thank you. And Tanya, saved you for last. So what is it? The best for last, right? So what would you say to somebody who's in Referral Mastery Academy, or they're considering Referral Mastery Academy and they're an agent in your office?
So I think Chris hit the nail on the head that it is literally a no-brainer. I mean, I have been in your world and your sphere and part of Gen since, you had Boost was your thing. I paid more for one program that you offered, and now you have everything under one place for us to learn. And every month you offer something different, and there's something for everybody, no matter what part of your business you're looking to work on, or yourself, like you have your 30 mornings, you have your sweet dreams, you have all of the different components that make us a better human being, not just the best professional as a real estate agent, but you help us work on all of us, first love yourself to fly. You teach us all these acronyms and all these programs and all of these systems that we can put into place. And for somebody like me who's so into like learning and all these different things you can do in ADD, like, oh, I want to do this. You have it all outlined. And, yesterday you just showed us in the YAPS program that we're going through, which is part of RMA. We get it for free for our monthly subscription that we pay, our membership rather. And it's one of those that it's the biggest no-brainer. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't, when you're looking to learn on how to be the best, not just professional speaking, but as a human being, it's everything. It's all there. And I wrote down some of the words that Cara said: grace and ease. And Heron said collaboration. There's no secrets. And then you were talking about Daisy said it's the best real estate school that's out there. And I think it was, I don't know who said it was all the synergy and mastery. I think that was you, Dave. I mean, it was just the words that everybody's been using are the epitome of what you have put out here for all of us. So it's just sign up. I mean, it's the best investment. It's the best return on your investment you'll get in the real estate industry.
Wow. That's awesome. Tanya, I love how you incorporated everybody else's answer into the final answer there. And that's beautiful. And Dave and Tanya and Cara and Iris and Chris, Daisy, Heron, and Josh, I just want to thank all of you so much for your contributions today, but also your implementation. What is the finest compliment to a teacher, to a mentor, to a trainer? It's implementation. That is the number one thing. And you guys didn't implement at a one-day level. You didn't try anything. You triumphed, right? And you really took it to the nth degree and got all the way to the Easter egg. And I'm telling you right now, we're doing this for every single challenge from now on. We're going to have a little secret in the last one that only a few pick up on. And we're going to have some fun with this and gamify our challenges from now on. And you guys have proven the point. You have proven that this is an awesome thing, and only the awesome survive. You guys are awesome people, and you made it this far. And just, I love that. Like I said, it may be the most noteworthy podcast ever. And Noteworthy has 2 meetings in this case. So thank you all for being our guest here today on Referrals Podcast. And you, the listener, I hope you've been encouraged to join GenGen, joingengen.com, joingen.com. We do our RMA reveal. It's in there. The video has been put in there. We reveal all of what 2024 holds for RMA. I think you'll like it, and you guys can get more information on that, or you can go to referralmasteryacademy.com to check out all of the different facets of what we're doing in 2024. And last but not least, happy holidays, everybody. Happy holidays, listener, viewer, and just know how much we appreciate you helping us get into the top 50 of all podcasts in the marketing category on iTunes, and continuing to make this podcast a lot of fun and worth every minute of recording. And we hope that you're in for another year with us in 2024, and just know how much we appreciate you. Happy holidays, everybody. We'll see you next time on Referrals Podcast.